These are the cheapest cars you can buy that still look and drive like supercars. Well, you might not get the insane top speeds of a supercar, but each of these manual rear-wheel drive monsters is a pocket-sized alternative to your favorite poster car. Guess what? They're like the Pepsi of the exotic car world. A bit cheaper and almost as good, and the farther we go down the list, the cheaper they'll be. Let's talk about a car that's a bit pricey but holds a special place in my dream affordable garage, the Lotus Elise. It's not the fastest car on our list, and it's actually the most expensive one, but here's why I'd choose it. The Lotus Elise, specifically its second generation sold from 2001 to 2010, is a true driver's machine. It offers different drivetrain options, and the top-tier models come with a 1.8-liter supercharged four-cylinder engine known as Toyota's 2ZZGE. This engine can rev up to 8,000 RPM and pumps out over 220 horsepower. While it might not sound like the power you'd find in today's Lotus cars, the Elise played a key role in inspiring legendary vehicles like the Tesla Roadster and Hennessy Venom. What makes the Elise stand out is its manual 6-speed transmission, straightforward interior, and a lightweight build at just 2,000 pounds. This combination delivers one of the most hands-on driving experiences you can get. Car and Driver magazine even praised it as one of the best driving cars on the planet a few years back. Back in the day, you could get your hands on one for around $25,000. But the exceptional driving experience has elevated its status to that of a collector's item. These days, if you're lucky, you might find one for around $35, which is still less expensive than your average new car, but not as budget-friendly as our next option. The Xenos E10, much like the Lotus, is a cool car that's perfect for people who love driving with the wind in their hair. It's a rear-wheel drive car, and you can take off the top to feel the breeze while you're driving. What makes the E10 different from the Lotus Elise is that it has a more powerful engine. The E10 has a turbocharged EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine that makes 350 horsepower in the E10R version. The regular E10 and E10S have slightly less powerful 2-liter engines, but they're still pretty fast. Xeno said that the car could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 5 seconds, and it could reach a top speed of over 130 miles per hour, even the basic version. The E10 looks really cool, kind of like a small version of the McLaren Elva, and it's pretty light, weighing less than 2,000 pounds. Sadly, the company that made the E10 went out of business in 2017, but you can still find used E10 cars for sale. Even though they were briefly sold in the United States, they're more common in Britain, where the company was based. If you're thinking about buying one, you might find them selling for $15,000 to $20,000, depending on the condition. But if you're not into the Xenos E10, you might want to check out the Porsche 968 for a more comfortable daily commute. One of my personal favorites is the Porsche 968, a car that often gets overlooked by Porsche enthusiasts. This is mainly because it's water-cooled and tends to be overshadowed by its pricier counterpart, the 993 911. However, this is excellent news for anyone on the lookout for a more affordable option. The 968 packs a punch with 236 horsepower generated from a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder transaxle. It stands out not just for its unique features like quirky pop-ups, but also because it was initially meant to be the next generation of the 944. Porsche made so many changes to the car that they eventually decided to give it an entirely new name. Despite its impressive specs and interesting history, the 968 is relatively unheard of. It only lasted for 4 model years before being replaced by the mid-engine Boxster. Surprisingly, you can still get your hands on a 968 for less than $20,000, making it a great choice for those looking for a budget-friendly yet performance-oriented option. The C4 Corvette, often overlooked, holds the title of the least admired among Corvette generations. It falls into a peculiar category. It's not quite new, yet not old enough to be a classic. Produced from 1984 to 1996, this Vette boasted a robust 5.7-liter V8 engine, reaching a formidable 400 horsepower in the ZR1 model. Even the more affordable L83 motor managed to produce around 200 horsepower. Not too long ago, the C4 was considered one of the most budget-friendly cars, with memories of times when loose change found under your mom's bed could get you one. However, as the C4 inches towards collectability, prices have surged, ranging from $8,000 to $12,000. This increase in value prompts a reconsideration of the C4's potential as an investment, especially given the raw power synonymous with American muscle cars. For those seeking alternatives to the Corvette's allure, the BMW Z4 might satisfy the desire for a supercar experience. Next on our list is Aston Martin cars from the 2000s that are often criticized for looking too similar. However, this might not have been a big problem because they all looked good. The engineers at Aston Martin also made significant changes under the surface to make them different. For instance, even though the 2007 DBS seemed similar to the DB9, it had notable improvements that made it more like a supercar than a Grand Tourer. These changes included larger carbon ceramic brakes, new adjustable shock absorbers, increased use of lightweight carbon fiber in the car's construction, and a significant boost in power for the 5.9-liter V12 engine, from 50 bhp to TP. The best part was that they replaced the DB9's automatic gearbox with a manual one. Even though a DBS is more expensive than a DB9, the improved driving experience and the bragging rights of owning a Bond car make it worth the price. Let's not dwell too much on its brief appearance in Casino Royale, which ended in a rollover crash with some questionable physics. At least it played a more significant role in Quantum of Solace. Another supercar that comes cheap is the Mercedes-AMG GT. It is like a classic powerful car, not a delicate racing horse. It has a cool look, a strong V8 engine, and playful handling on the rear wheels. It's a small two-seater car that makes every drive exciting. The S version is the best one, with more power at 503 bhp, extra driving modes, special shock absorbers, and a sporty exhaust that makes the engine sound loud. It's really fast, going from 0 to 62 mph in just 3.8 seconds. When you steer it around corners, it's quick and has great control, sticking to the road like glue. But it's also a lot of fun, just like we expect from AMG cars. This car, built from 2003 to 2008, had 6 cylinders and 2 doors, packing over 200 horsepower. BMW designed it as an alternative to Porsche's Boxster, and it turned out to be a hit, selling really well, despite some people finding it looks a bit controversial. Personally, I think its design is much better than the newer BMWs. You could get it as a soft top called the E85 or a coupe called the E86. The car is front-engine, rear-wheel driven, and offers a choice between a 5 or 6-speed manual transmission. It's a bit like a Miata, but without the stereotypes that often come with the Miata. It's more for serious drivers. Because BMW made a bunch of them, you can find one for just $6 or $7 grand, which is a significant discount compared to the Z8, which could cost you 6 or 7 figures. This car provides a great opportunity for driving enthusiasts to experience a sporty ride without breaking the bank. Whether you prefer the open-top E85 or the sleek E86 coupe, it's a chance to own a powerful machine with a distinctive design. The fact that it's more affordable than the high-end Z8 makes it an attractive option for those who want a taste of luxury performance without the hefty price tag. Next up is the Audi TT, which stands out in this group because it doesn't have rear-wheel drive like the other cars. Instead, it comes with Audi's Quattro four-wheel drive system. This system is mostly front-wheel drive, but if it senses slipping in the front, it sends some power to the rear wheels. You can make some changes to keep it in four-wheel drive mode all the time, and they don't cost too much. In the beginning, it had a 1.8-liter Turbo 4 engine, and later, a 3.2-liter V6 was added. People say it's like a smaller, more fun version of Audi's R8. Even though it has 247 horsepower, which is not as much as its older sibling, it's way cheaper, about 1/10 of the price. For less than $6 grand, if you're lucky, you can get the same platform as the Audi A3, a kind of fancy interior for its time, and an exterior look that attracts more attention from women than a Lamborghini. Let's dive into the world of the Lotus 7 replica, a bit of an unpredictable choice in the realm of cars. Picture this. Around 12 different companies are out there, each offering their unique version of a lightweight, open-topped, soapbox-style performance vehicle. The original Lotus 7, designed by Colin Chapman, was initially sold as a kit car. These cars were on the smaller side, featuring aluminum panels, but they had a bit of a challenge when it came to reaching high speeds. The culprit? Those large wheel covers generate lift. Fast forward to today, and you'll find a variety of Lotus 7 kits with different levels of refinement. Among them, the Caterham 7 stands out as the most well-known. Their top-of-the-line model boasts a 2-liter supercharged Ford Duratec engine, pumping out an impressive 310 horsepower. Now, here's the interesting part. You can either put it together yourself or shell out some extra cash for a fully assembled version. While used Caterhams can set you back a hefty $30,000 to $40,000, don't worry. There's a plethora of other budget-friendly Lotus 7 alternatives waiting to be explored. Enter the world of low cost. It's not exactly a brand. Think of it more as a cultural movement. This movement is all about putting together Lotus 7 replicas on a shoestring budget. Inspired by a DIY book claiming you could build a sports car for as little as $250, which, adjusting for inflation, is still less than $1,000. The idea is to get creative. From budget-friendly alternatives to iconic designs, we've explored 9 incredible options that won't break the bank. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of high performance on a budget, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more exciting content. Stay tuned for future explorations in the automotive universe.